We come so close in the last video to being able to drive it, but we did manage to fit the new interior and the new radiator. That challenge has become increasingly difficult as Bugatti refuse to sell us parts.
But we just don't think it's safe, and that's why we can't.
But we've still managed to split the car in half, repair the gearbox mounting, put the car back together, start it for the first time, and
the automotive world has seen countless restorations, impossible rebuilds, and daring engineering projects. But nothing could prepare enthusiasts of the moment when Matt Armstrong rolled out his rebuilt Bugatti and left everyone speechless. What started as a wrecked hypercar that many believed should never return to road became one of the most talked about automotive stories on the internet. Piece by piece, bolt by bolt, and through countless sleepless nights, Matt transformed a broken machine into something that looked almost impossible, a Bugatti that didn't just live again, but one that many fans claimed was even better than the original. The journey wasn't merely about repairing carbon fiber panels or replacing expensive components. It was about proving that passion, determination, and relentless problem-solving can challenge the boundaries of traditional engineering. When the damaged Bugatti first arrived, it looked like a lost cause. The shattered bodywork, missing components, and staggering repair costs were enough to scare away even experienced mechanics. Industry experts estimated that restoring such a machine would cost millions and require access to factory resources that only a handful of people in the world possess. Yet, Matt Armstrong saw something different. He didn't see a destroyed hypercar. He saw an opportunity to accomplish something extraordinary. Every scratch and every broken part became another challenge waiting to be conquered. The internet watched in disbelief as he began taking apart one of the most complicated vehicles ever created, documenting every setback and every small victory. As the rebuild progressed, the obstacles became even greater. Specialized components had to be sourced from around the world. Complex electronic systems needed to be understood and reprogrammed. Parts that seemed impossible to replace had to be repaired or recreated. There were moments when the project looked completely doomed, when one wrong decision could have turned the entire dream into an expensive pile of carbon fiber and metal. But each setback only fueled Matt's determination. He refused to quit, and that relentless attitude became the heart of the entire project. The most incredible part of the story wasn't just the rebuilding process itself. It was the attention it began receiving from automotive enthusiasts and professionals alike. People who had spent their lives around high-performance engineering started paying close attention to what was happening in a simple workshop. Every new video attracted millions of viewers, and every update created more excitement than the last. Fans weren't just watching a car being repaired. They were witnessing an impossible dream slowly becoming reality. Then came the moment that changed everything. The rebuilt Bugatti finally roared back to life. The sound of its engine echoed like a victory cry, a reminder that determination can sometimes achieve what experts consider impossible. The first drive was more than just a mechanical test. It was a culmination of months of sacrifice, frustration, and unwavering belief. As the car accelerated down the road, it became clear that this was no ordinary rebuild. It wasn't simply about restoring a damaged vehicle. It was about creating a symbol of perseverance. Rumors soon spread that even people connected to Bugatti were amazed by what had been accomplished. Whether every claim was true or not, one thing became undeniable. The project had earned the respect of the automotive community. The fit and finish of the car, the attention to detail, and the determination behind the build had captured the imagination of millions. Some enthusiasts even argued that the rebuilt Bugatti possessed something the factory version could never have: an emotional story, a soul forged through adversity and human determination. What made the project truly special was that it challenged conventional thinking. In an era when modern hypercars are often seen as untouchable masterpieces that only manufacturers can service, Matt Armstrong proved that passion and knowledge can break down even the highest barriers. He inspired an entire generation of mechanics, creators, and dreamers to believe that impossible projects are only impossible until someone is brave enough to attempt them. Every dent repaired and every system brought back to life became a reminder that success rarely comes easily. There were moments of doubt, financial risks, and endless hours of hard work hidden behind every camera shot. Yet those struggles made the final result even more meaningful. The rebuilt Bugatti became more than a hypercar. It became a testament to human perseverance, creativity, and a refusal to accept defeat. In the end, perhaps the greatest achievement wasn't building a Bugatti, that some people consider better than the original. The real victory was proving that extraordinary things can happen when talent meets determination. The story of Matt Armstrong's Bugatti rebuild reminds us that legends are not created by avoiding impossible challenges. They are created by facing them head-on. And as the rebuilt hypercar disappeared into the distance, one message remained crystal clear. Sometimes the most incredible machines are not born in factories. They are reborn through passion, courage, and an unshakable belief that nothing is truly impossible. But the story didn't end when the Bugatti finally started and drove under its own power. In many ways, that was only the beginning. Because once the engine came to life and the car returned to the road, the entire automotive world began asking the same question. How did a YouTuber in a small workshop achieve something that many believe could only be done by the factory itself? It was a question that carried enormous weight because modern hypercars are designed to be engineering masterpieces, machines so advanced that even minor repairs often require specialized tools, factory software, and teams of highly trained technicians. Yet here was Matt Armstrong, proving that passion and determination could compete with some of the most sophisticated engineering on Earth. As more details of the rebuild emerged, the respect for the project only grew stronger. Every component that had been carefully restored represented hundreds of hours of work and countless moments of uncertainty. There were times when a single missing part threatened to delay the project for weeks. There were moments when electronic systems refused to cooperate and when the financial risk became almost unimaginable. But every problem that appeared was met with the same attitude: find a solution and keep moving forward. That mindset transformed the rebuild into something much greater than a simple automotive project. It became a lesson in resilience. The emotional connection between Matt and the car also became impossible to ignore. Most people would have looked at the wrecked Bugatti and seen only destruction and impossible repair bills. Matt saw potential. He saw a challenge that could redefine what was possible. Every time he walked into the workshop, he wasn't simply fixing a car. He was fighting against the idea that some dreams are too big to pursue. That emotional investment is what separated this project from ordinary restorations. The Bugatti wasn't just another vehicle. It became a symbol of refusing to give up. Millions of people around the world followed every stage of the rebuild because they saw themselves in the journey. Not everyone dreams of rebuilding a multi-million-dollar hypercar, but everyone understands what it means to chase something that seems impossible. Everyone knows the feeling of facing obstacles, doubting themselves, and wondering whether the effort will ever be worth it. Watching the Bugatti come back to life became a reminder that persistence can overcome challenges that once seemed insurmountable. Even more remarkable was the fact that the project inspired a new generation of car enthusiasts. Young mechanics, students, and dreamers suddenly began looking at difficult projects differently. They realized that expertise isn't reserved exclusively for giant corporations and famous manufacturers. Knowledge can be learned, skills can be developed, and impossible tasks can become achievable when someone is willing to dedicate enough time and effort. The Bugatti rebuild became proof that innovation often comes from people who refuse to accept limitations. The internet exploded with reactions. Some called the project one of the greatest automotive rebuilds ever documented. Others argued that it had changed the way people viewed damaged supercars forever. Forums, social media pages, and automotive communities were filled with discussions about the craftsmanship involved and the incredible determination behind the project. For many viewers, the rebuild wasn't just entertaining, it was genuinely inspiring. And perhaps that is why the story resonates so deeply. In a world where so many things are disposable and easily replaced, seeing someone invest so much time, energy, and passion into saving something that appeared beyond repair felt extraordinary. The rebuilt Bugatti became a reminder that broken things do not always have to remain broken. Sometimes they can be restored, improved, and transformed into something even more meaningful than before. As the rebuilt hypercar continued to attract attention, one thing became increasingly clear. Its greatest value wasn't measured in horsepower or market price. Its value came from the story behind it. Every repaired panel and every rebuilt component carried a memory of countless challenges that had been overcome. The car had earned something that no factory can install and no amount of money can buy, a story that inspired millions of people around the world. And so, the legend of Matt Armstrong's Bugatti continues to grow. Not because it was the fastest car ever built or because it carried the most expensive badge in the world, but because it proved a simple yet powerful truth. Impossible dreams often belong to the people who are willing to work the hardest for them. Long after the cameras stop rolling and the headlines begin to fade, this extraordinary rebuild will remain a symbol of courage, determination, and the incredible things that can happen when someone refuses to accept the word impossible. As the months passed, the rebuilt Bugatti became something far bigger than a YouTube project. It became a modern automotive legend. Every new appearance of the car sparked fresh discussions among enthusiasts and industry experts alike. People who had initially dismissed the rebuild as impossible were now forced to admit that they had witnessed something extraordinary. The story had evolved from, can this car even be saved, to how did one man and his team manage to accomplish what many considered impossible? That shift in perception was perhaps the greatest victory of all. For Matt Armstrong, however, the project was never just about proving people wrong. It was about the challenge itself, the desire to push beyond limits and discover what was possible with enough dedication and creativity. There were countless nights when the workshop lights stayed on long after midnight. There were moments of frustration when parts didn't fit, systems refused to communicate, and solutions seemed impossible to find. But every setback became another chapter in a story that millions of people were now following with excitement and admiration. The Bugatti itself seemed to take on a personality of its own. Every scar it once carried became part of its identity, a reminder of the incredible journey from destruction to rebirth. Unlike a factory-fresh hypercar delivered straight from the showroom, this Bugatti had history. It had survived disaster, endured countless hours of rebuilding, and emerged stronger than anyone could have imagined. In many ways, the car's story mirrored the struggles that people face in their own lives. The idea that even after experiencing failure, damage, or setbacks, it is still possible to come back stronger than before. That emotional connection is what transformed the rebuild into something truly unforgettable. Viewers weren't simply watching someone repair an expensive vehicle. They were witnessing perseverance in its purest form. Every successful repair became a reminder that difficult problems can be solved. Every completed task became proof that persistence often matters more than talent alone. The Bugatti rebuild turned into a story about hope, determination, and the incredible things that happen when someone refuses to quit, as the finished car continued to make appearances. It became clear that its impact extended far beyond the automotive world. Entrepreneurs, engineers, mechanics, and even people with no interest in cars found inspiration in the project. They saw a person facing overwhelming odds and succeeding through hard work and unwavering belief. In a world where people are often told to stay within their limits, Matt Armstrong's Bugatti became a symbol of what can happen when someone dares to go beyond them. Perhaps that is why the phrase "better than the original" resonated with so many people. It wasn't necessarily about horsepower figures or technical specifications. It was about the journey. The rebuilt Bugatti carried something the original could never possess, the story of survival. It represented thousands of hours of effort, countless setbacks, and an extraordinary refusal to accept defeat. It had become more than a machine. It had become an inspiration. Even years from now, automotive enthusiasts will likely remember this project as one of the most remarkable rebuilds ever documented. They will remember the suspense, the setbacks, and the triumphant moment when the engine finally roared back to life. They will remember the disbelief on people's faces as the impossible became reality. Most importantly, they will remember the message hidden within the project. Greatness is not reserved for those who have unlimited resources or perfect circumstances. Greatness belongs to those who continue moving forward even when the odds are against them. And as the rebuilt Bugatti disappears into the horizon, its engine echoing like a victory anthem, one final lesson remains. Sometimes the most incredible achievements begin with a broken dream, a seemingly impossible challenge, and one person brave enough to believe that failure is not the end of the story. Because legends are not born when everything goes according to plan. Legends are created when someone takes the impossible, refuses to give up, and turns it into something the world will never forget. But perhaps the most astonishing part of the entire story came after the cameras stopped rolling and the celebrations faded. The rebuilt Bugatti was no longer just a viral internet sensation. It had become a symbol of a new era in automotive culture. For decades, Exotic manufacturers have built an almost mythical reputation around their cars, creating machines so advanced and exclusive that ordinary enthusiasts believe they could never understand them, let alone repair them. Yet this project shattered that belief. It showed that with enough patience, knowledge, and determination, even the most complex machines in the world are not beyond human ingenuity. The reaction from the global car community was overwhelming. Messages poured in from aspiring mechanics, engineers, and dreamers who saw their own ambitions reflected in the journey. Many admitted that they had almost given up on their own projects or careers before witnessing the Bugatti rebuild. Seeing someone tackle an impossible challenge and succeed gave them the courage to keep going. In that sense, the Bugatti became far more than a hypercar. It became a source of motivation for countless people around the world. Every legendary machine carries a story, but few stories are as remarkable as this one. Most Bugattis are remembered because of their performance figures, their breathtaking speed, or their exclusivity. This Bugatti will be remembered because it proved something far more important. That passion can overcome obstacles that money and resources alone cannot. The car's true value wasn't measured in millions of dollars. Its value was measured in the countless hours of dedication, the sleepless nights, the moments of doubt, and the unwavering determination that brought it back to life. As people looked at the finished car, they no longer saw the wrecked vehicle that once seemed beyond repair. They saw a masterpiece born from perseverance. Every panel reflected not only the shine of the paint,